Yo, what's up, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you my games that got me to finish number one in the world in the global tournament. Really excited with this finish, but unfortunately I wasn't able to record live because I wasn't planning on uploading this because I didn't expect to finish number one, but I posted this on my community tab and so many of you guys asked me to upload my games in the global tournament, so I'm going to be showing you guys some replays here, and I'm just going to start with the one that got me to finish number one in the world. So here I'm against Jack Sparrow. He's a lava player. This time I have Inferno Tower because there was only two other people that I could match, him and some other guy, but I put Inferno Tower to be safe versus this guy. Like, it's still pretty hard if he plays well, but it gives me like a chance compared to Cannon where I just can't do anything at all. So to start off with a princess here, I went Fire Spirit Barrel because I knew his deck. And I want him to constantly play cards because I don't really want him going in single elixir because that's my only really chance to lose, because if I make it to double, I should win. Here, it's kind of unfortunate that I didn't predict that miner. I assumed that he would go Skelly Drags, that's why I didn't, so it's kind of a weird play from him, but it ended up working out. As you can see here, he has no ground cards in hand, so I go Mighty Miner at the bridge, and then I know he's back to Barbs now, but I still pop my ability to force them out. So as you can see, like, I'm keeping him really, really low on Elixir, and each time I'm getting a better and better trade, and he's getting lower and lower on Elixir, so it's harder and harder for him to defend, and eventually he just won't be able to, and I can take the tower. I go Fire Spirit here, and you can see I'm up 2 Elixir. I go Mighty Miner again at the bridge, knowing that he only has Miner and Skelly Drags, but he can't Miner because I'll just pop the ability, so you can see here he only has 3 Elixir, so I go for a Barrel as well because I know he's super low, and this Barrel is going to get a lot of damage here. He goes for a Zap, but you can see I'm still up in Elixir, and I'm getting more and more damage, so I'm going up more and more in Elixir, and I'm getting more and more damage, so it's looking super good right now. I go for a Princess at the bridge here to get some damage and just because I don't want him to reset with a Lava. So if I go Princess in the back, he'll just Lava into it once he gets enough, and it won't really be that good. So here I go Skellies, and as you can see, he's still super low. So I go Mighty at the bridge, knowing he has Barbs, and I go Barrel because if he Barbs, which he has to, he can't afford arrows, and I'm going to get a lot of damage here with the Barrel. Like, that's 6 stabs until he can arrows, and then I pop the ability to kill the Barbs off. And he just sacks his tower because he knows if he defends, then he'll never have a chance to go in. And so now he's just trying to make a comeback. But as long as I play good defense, I can win. I start off with a Princess in the back to force out arrows. And forcing them out early so I can cycle back to a second Princess where he can't kill it. So I go Inferno Tower now, knowing that when he goes Skelly Drags, I can go Fire Spirit and Mighty Miner. Because the Mighty Miner bomb plus Fire Spirit kills Skelly Drags. So just pop the ability here and it's going to kill the Skelly Drags, and then I just go Inferno. I'm not worried because I know that he used his Zap to keep the first Lava alive, so I know this Inferno Tower is going to kill both the Lavas. I go for Fire Spirit to clean up, and then I go for a second Princess here, and I go for a third Inferno Tower, actually. Kind of crazy stuff, but I know he doesn't have arrows, so he can't like stop the Princess from killing the pups and the Skelly Drags, so just going to be a pretty clean first game there. And this is the game that got me to finish top 1 in the world in the global tournament. Honestly, pretty easy game. He never really had a chance. Like, in the first 2 minutes, he just got spammed, and then in the last minute, I just played super nice defense. I'm in the next one here against Game Freak, so this match he's playing E-Giant Mirror. I didn't know his deck. I assumed that he sniped me because I just lost playing a different deck. I think I lost with E-Giant. I lost with a different deck, and I assumed that he tried to snipe me with bait, assuming that I just queued in with bait because I was mad, which I did. So I go for a Mighty Miner here on the Golden Knight, and then he has Zappies. You can see I'm up quite a bit of Elixir, but that there is a perfect example on why I start with Fire Spirit at the bridge instead of Barrel, because Fire Spirit forced out the Golden Knight, then I just Mighty, so I'm down 1, but then he had a Zappy, so I'm just essentially up 3. I go Princess here, and then I go Skellies for the E-Barbs, and he does a really bad Tornado, and this Tornado instantly wins me the game because here I go for a Barrel on the left, and he goes for a Tornado on it, and if you look at his Elixir bar right now, I go Mighty Miner at the bridge because I know he has to Golden Knight the right for the Princess, so I go Mighty predicting that, and then you can see he has no Elixir, so I just defend the Golden Knight here knowing that my Mighty's going to get a lot of damage, and then I go for a Barrel as well as soon as I can because I don't think that the Mighty will take the tower, but it actually takes the entire tower, so I just wasted 3 elixir there, but I wasn't really upset about wasting the elixir because I took the whole tower in the first minute 20 seconds with and taking that tower that quick with a log bait like never happens. So it was super nice to have it happen. It gave me a lot of confidence because I was pretty nervous going into this match because I thought that I got sniped, but I ended up not getting sniped. Even though he didn't hit the snipe, it's still a pretty tough matchup because E-Giant and Mirror is super hard to defend with only a cannon because Mighty Miner doesn't do anything. That was really bad E-Barbs. I just rocket them, but into this game, I didn't know like fully what his deck was, so I assumed there that he had a Sparky, and because like, well, I thought he had a Sparky because why would he E-Barbs behind the tower unless he's trying to bait my rocket? But I princessed a bridge here because I knew that he was going to E-Giant the back. I did figure out that he had E-Giant just by his cards, and I know that he has a Lightning, but I didn't see the thing yet. I just go for a cannon here. I set up an early cannon, and then he goes for an E-Giant mirrored, so I just rocket it, and as you can see, it still have a lot of HP, but I can cycle back to another cannon pretty easily, so I just go for a cannon here. That was just a bad play. If he went mirrored E-Giant on the left, I would have been in trouble because then I wouldn't have been able to go for a rocket because it wouldn't have really done anything, but he stacked both of his E-Giants on top of each other, so I could rocket them both and get a pretty easy defense. And here I know that he's just going to spam me, so I start playing my cards backwards, like over on his side of the map, because I don't want him to get a stupid Golden Knight dash, like a lucky Golden Knight on my tower and maybe make a comeback. So I just play good defense, and now that no cards are in range of being Golden Knighted towards the tower, I just start playing the normal defense, and I got a nice win there versus E-Giant Mirror. I still couldn't believe that he made that big of a mistake on the Tornado, and just that mistake cost him the whole tower, but it felt good to win that. So, to be honest, I'm kind of showing this game more just because it was kind of a funny match, not that it was, like, really, like, close or, like, informative or something like that. It was just kind of more funny. I go for a Fire Spirit here at the bridge, and he does a great Mega Minion. So, I go for a Barrel here, and, I just go for Princess to defend the Mega Minion. And he has Skelly Drags coming up as well, and he does a great Fireball there. So I'm just kind of surprised. So I go for Mighty at the bridge because I know he's low. And then he messes up the Tombstone on the Mighty and he loses his whole tower. And to think that, like, this guy was at, like, 30 wins or wherever I matched him at, like, kind of crazy to think about that. But yeah, so I pretty much already won, but it kind of gets better. I go for Princess at the bridge here just to force out the Mega Minion, and I know he's super low after he Skelly Drags here, so I just split my Skellies, and I go Mighty Miner towards the King Tower, because if you look at his Elixir, he's at 3, so I Mighty Miner the King, and I know he's going to put Barbarians behind the tower on the right, predicting my ability, and he just puts his Barbarians there, and I just 3-crown him. Like, I couldn't believe that like actually worked. Like he got like 3 crowned like that fast against Logbait just from that like sequence of terrible plays like the Fireball, the Tombstone, the Mega Minion. It was just kind of perfect. I'm in the next game here against Muhammad Light. Best player in the world, by the way. I just got kind of lucky. But I just start here. I think I start with a Fire Spirit. No, I start with a Barrel. I start with a Barrel because I knew he was playing this RG deck because I saw him playing it earlier. He goes for a Giant Skeleton. He had a bad hand, but he only takes 1 hit. Go for Princess here. I finger slip my Princess. I meant to put my Princess on the right lane so it doesn't die to the bomb, but kind of a big mistake there because it loses me my Princess, so kind of sucks, but I come back, I guess. So he does a Fisherman there just to kill my Mighty. I just go for Fire Spirit knowing that he doesn't have like a good response, like anything cheap. I go for Barrel on the right to force out the log. Then I go for Cannon. I instantly Mighty because I know he's going to EQ. Kind of an overcommitment in my opinion because if you look at his Elixir, he has the same amount as me, but he needs to defend my Mighty Miner. I go for Princess here, bait out the Fisherman, and then I go for Skellies at the bridge here to block the Fisherman. So now the Fisherman's not going to pull the Mighty, and the Mighty gets a bunch of damage. I go for Fire Spirit here on the Fisherman, but looking back, I should have went Fire Spirit Barrel at the bridge immediately, and I would have got a lot of damage there, and it would have been worth taking the Fisherman damage to get the Fire Spirit Barrel damage. So I guess watching my replay here actually taught me something there. Go for Barrel down here because I know he's going to Hunter, and if
If you put barrel in that position or one more above, you can get damage versus the hunter. A lot of people don't know that, but if you put it there, the hunter doesn't fully counter the barrel, so that's good to know. I go for cannon here and then immediately mighty miner again because I know he's gonna go for the earthquake, and I log it back as well. Try not to take a hit, but I take a hit here. Not too bad. I go for a fire spirit here. And he goes for Archer Queen, so that was a good Archer Queen. Kind of a bad Fire Spirit on my end because it just like killed the princess anyway, so I kind of just wasted a Fire Spirit. But I go for a log here, and then I go for a Mighty Miner down low, knowing that he's going to Fisherman up the princess, so I don't want it to grab the Mighty Miner straight away. Go for a barrel here, just force out the log because I know I can outcycle him with the Mighty Miner down and having a faster cycle. Go for a oh wait, I go for a rocket here on the RG and the hunter, and then I go for cannon up high, predicting the earthquake, so that was nice. Go for a fire spirit barrel here, knowing that he doesn't have log, so he has it now, but it was kind of too late, so I get one hit there, which is great. I know he's gonna RG the bridge here, so I need to be careful. Just go for princess here on the fish, and then go for a log back, and now I go for a mighty, and then I go for a cannon in a different placement this time, and I avoid the earthquake again, which is great. I know that I only need 2 more rockets to finish out the game, but to be honest, I'm kind of nervous playing against Mohamed Light, so I don't really like do that straight away. Like, it doesn't like instantly click in my head to go for the 2 rockets. Go for the princess here, go for skellies, and I go for rocket barrel here because he wasted his log, so honestly I should have just went rocket, but I go for the rocket barrel trying to be fancy and predict the hunter, which I did predict the hunter, I just didn't hit it. Kind of missed my rocket there, so that was kind of dumb, but go for Fire Spirit, Skelly's Log, and Cannon, and I'm already back to my rocket. So even though like I was kind of being dumb and trying to be fancy there, I just Cannon and rocket the tower, and I still get the win. So I'm not really sure who has matchup there, but I did play super well, and it was a pretty nice game overall. He also played well. He just kind of had a bad start. I think he would have beat me if he didn't. I'm in the next game here against Lou Gilbert. This guy's a really good drill player, but he kind of had a bad game in my opinion. I split my skeletons here, and I go for cannon in the middle. By the way, I would show you guys some of my losses with Logbait, but I actually didn't lose a game with Logbait in the global tournament. I took 2 losses. I went 41-2. My 2 losses were with Drill and E-Giant, so I actually don't have any losses to show with Logbait. I know you guys like to see my losses and see what I could have done better, but I didn't lose with Bait in this tournament, so I'm sorry, but he used his log there, so I go for a Fire Spirit Barrel because I know he has Skeleton Army, so it'd be kind of annoying for him to defend this. He has to go like Skelly King, Skarmy, and not really that great because he hasn't got like all the souls yet from the Skelly King, so the ability isn't that like overwhelming yet. So I just go for the bomb here and clean up the Skarmy. I don't think I go for Princess at the bridge, but dude, that was kind of bad because I am down some. He splits Wall Breakers here. He goes for the drill. Okay, and then kind of annoying for me. I had to log the left and take the right, so kind of sucks, but I have a good cycle now, so I'm kind of happy about my position overall. I know that he has Dark Goblin, Log, Fireball, and Inferno, so I'm just waiting. He goes for Dark Goblin, so I go for Princess in the middle, and then I can go for Skelly's on top, just to make sure my princess doesn't die. And now this is where it gets really good. I go for barrel on the right, force out the Skarmy or the log. He goes for Skarmy, which I don't know if I agree with that. I go for a Mighty Miner here to finish off the Skeleton King, and then I just log the right. And if you see his hand now, it's not really the best. Like, it's not bad, but not really what you want to see. I popped my ability. That was a bad ability, to be honest. I assumed that he would Skeleton Army or Dark Goblin. I think it was Dark Goblin that I thought he would do. Let's go Skellies here to block the Dark Gob. Go for a barrel here on the left. You want to go opposite lane in this match. It makes it much easier. I go for Fire Spirit here just to make sure the first Goblin doesn't get a hit. And if you look at his hand right now, it's not really the best to defend a princess in the back, because if he fireballs my princess, then I'm just going to outcycle him. And I can go Mighty Miner here for the Skeleton King because he doesn't have like Skeleton Army to block, and even if he does, I should be in a good spot. And I outcycled him hard, so now I log the Dark Goblin, and now I'm going to abuse the fact that I have a princess down. He goes for log, which I don't agree with that log. Go for princess on the left here. Go for Fire Spirit to predict, and then I just log the rest of it. Dark Goblin's dead. And then you see my elixir and his elixir and what I have down. He can't really do anything. I go for Barrel and Princess here, knowing that he has no elixir, and the hand he has is just so bad to defend. I just logged the Dark Goblin quickly. I know he has to go for a Skeleton Army, so now I just start defending again. I know I only need 2 rockets, so I know this game's in the bag. He calls the early GG, which it was GG. Kind of outplayed him there with the Princess in the back. If I just wasted my Princess at the bridge, I would have just lost there, so... I mean, not lost, but I wouldn't have got, like, all that damage, and I wasn't in, like, a great position until that happened as well. Let's go for Cannon here to predict. He, doesn't do it, so I just log and finish it out, and then I go for a Rocket here. Okay, no, I go for a Rocket Barrel here because he wasted his log. I forgot that he wasted his log there, but I go for a Rocket Barrel here because he used his log, and now he has to defend. Mistimed it a bit. If I timed it a bit better, I think it would have taken the tower. Just split my Skellies here, just cycling back to a Rocket. I know he's going to all-in push me with, like, Skelly, King, Drill, Wall Breakers, Dark God, but I know I can defend. So I just go for Mighty, Cannon, and here I go for Fire Spirit and then just take some damage because he went for the log, so I don't really care. I'm just going to let it go. I'm not going to waste my log. I'm just going to Rocket the tower and take the win. That's a pretty hard matchup, but I hope that helps your guys' understanding on how to win that matchup. It's not too bad, but it's still pretty hard in my opinion. In the last game here against Dimas, here I'm not playing log bait. I switched decks because I predicted that he was going to snipe me, and I was right. This guy's a Mega Knight Wallbreakers player, and I assumed that he was going to snipe me because I was high and he was close to me, so I go for Pigs EQ to counter snipe Mortar EQ because I assumed that he would snipe me, so I just tried to change my deck, and I ended up getting a super nice matchup here. Whereas if I went with log bait, there was no way that I would have won, so it's not, like, all about, like, being the best. Like, sometimes you have to, like, be smart, too. Like, if I went in with log bait here, I would have just lost. Like, there's no way I can win this matchup. Mortar, EQ, Skelly's, Fire Spirit, log. Like, I can't defend the mortars. I can't get damage. Like, I would have just lost. But I go for a Queen here to predict the Musk, knowing that, like, which deck he sniped me with after I saw it. I go Pigs on the right here, because if you look at his hand, he has such a bad hand to defend Pigs at the bridge. Princess is super helpful as well because he can't use log on the pig since he has to log the princess, and he has no good counters for pigs, so it's super nice deck pick overall. And I'm pretty good with pigs EQ. I have like a top 20 finish with it, something like that. Just go for log and Fire Spirit here for the knight. And then if you look at his hand, it's kind of bad. I think I go for Skellies here just to block, and then I go for a Queen just to finish off the mortar. Queen's super good versus Mortar because even if he blocks it, I can just pop the ability and it's dead. He goes for Musk there. It was a pretty good Musk because it outranges the Queen, but I just go for a Princess log here on the Knight and Musketeer, and it's cleaned up. I don't know why he went for that Knight at the bridge. That was bad. Go for Pigs as well because I know if he logs, then it won't kill my Princess. He has to still defend my Princess and the Pigs. So goes for Musk again there, but you see, like, it was a super nice start because he just can't defend pigs. I go Fire Spirit here on the Musketeer. Then I just split my Skellies, go for Princess at the bridge because it's not really a deck that you expect to have Princess, so he's not, like, worried about predicting it like you would versus bait or something like that. Go for Cannon here to defend the Miner and the Knight. Go for Fire Spirit to block the Fire Spirit because the Fire Spirit would have splashed on my tower. Go for Ability here to make sure the Musketeer dies. I go for Earthquake to predict the Skellies and stuff, but he wasted it. I didn't really notice that he wasted it. I go for Cannon here to try to predict the Mortar, but he didn't go for it. I just split my Skellies here, and then I go for Pigs to tank the Mortar and attack because I know he can't defend these Pigs for no damage, and it's going to get me into Earthquake log range. Oh, wait, no, it got me into just Earthquake range, yeah. Then I just keep blocking the Mortar, and just a pretty nice counter snipe there, predicting what he's going to do. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.